Now, without any doubt whatsoever, Bruce Harris has the breadth of experience and intellect to stand alongside members of the New Jersey Supreme Court, past and present. Bruce has almost 40 years of combined legal, business, political, and real-world experience, an impeccable academic background, a JD from Yale, an MBA from Boston University, and a graduate of Amherst College, magna cum laude. Over 20 years of legal experience, most recently at Greenberg Traurig and previously at Riker Danzig. Member of the Chatham Borough Council for 8 years and Chatham Borough's mayor since January. Declared by the New Jersey State Bar Association as qualified, endorsed by the Judicial Advisory Panel as qualified to sit on the Supreme Court. He's an experienced lawyer, man of respected intellect, with a strong academic background and a career in public service. That kind of background definitely doesn't work if you're trying to obstruct his nomination. Time to come up with another fiction. Bruce Harris didn't have the litigation experience needed to be a member of the New Jersey Supreme Court. Now, it doesn't matter that litigation experience has never been a litmus test for being a qualified justice, and it doesn't matter that we've had justices who have sat on the court, both past and present, without any litigation experience in their background. Backgrounds and experiences are varied because a justice requires a certain temperament and intellect that is not achieved specifically because of a certain job. But none of that mattered when it came time to actually considering Bruce Harris. It was a red herring. Democrats decided that merit doesn't actually matter, that intellect doesn't actually matter, that temperament doesn't actually matter, and in fact that diversity doesn't actually matter either. The only thing that matters is politics. Democrats are obstructing these nominations, pure and simple, and it has nothing to do with these nominees' qualifications, their judicial philosophy, or Bruce Harris's honesty about recusal. And I have to take a moment at this point to say that in a day of just ridiculous, reprehensible conduct, Nia Gill gets the prize. She just makes things up. She invokes Thurgood Marshall to disparage Bruce Harris and says Thurgood Marshall would have never made a deal to not rule on civil rights in order to get a seat on the U.S. Supreme Court. I'm sure he wouldn't have. And Bruce Harris didn't make any deal to get on the New Jersey Supreme Court. He made a decision that he informed me of after I nominated him, that he would recuse on same-sex marriage because of his previous advocacy as an elected official for the same-sex marriage legislation that was considered by the legislature in 2009. But that reality didn't matter, and she should be ashamed of herself for making an accusation like that without any factual basis, and in fact, with outright denials being made by the person who was nominated. The reality is they just don't want another Republican on the court. I hate to break it to the Democrats. They can't obviate the election, they can't go back in time and change the election results, and they can't change the history of the court, where in the overwhelming majority of years, there were 4 Democrats sitting on that court. Never once did you hear a complaint about balance at that time. Simple facts are these. Bruce Harris is a Republican. His confirmation would have provided the court with 3 Republican members, 2 Democrats, and an independent. Consider that 7 times prior, there have been a 4-member Democratic majority in the court. And the tradition has been very clear. If the nominations are available, the party of the sitting governor has the right to have a majority of the members on the court constitutes 4 people. The nominations of Phil Kwan and Bruce Harris would have preserved the balance on the court, as it's been known since the adoption of the 1947 Constitution, plain and simple, and by the voter registrations of the members on the court and the history of those registrations. The very fact that Bruce Harris was sacrificed in the name of politics is a dishonor to this institution. And once again, they've smeared a good person, his career, his character, and his experience. It's a perversion of this process, and just when I thought that the reputation of this committee couldn't get any lower, it in fact has. So for the second time in a row, the Senate Democrats have made a mockery of the process, of the court and the good individuals who agreed to put themselves up for nomination in the name of serving their state. The action of these Senate Democrats has cast a long shadow over what was a respectful and dignified process in the past. One thing was clear today: Bruce Harris never had a chance because he was never given one by the Senate Democrats. His fate was concluded well before today's hearing, and makes a mockery of the hearing. There was nobody listening there today. They had gotten their marching orders, and they were engaged in a political assassination. They did so. I hope they're proud of themselves.